What's going on, you guys? It's definitely been a while since my last vlog, so obviously there's been a lot done to the car. If you follow me on Instagram, you see we got the new Heritage wheels. They are the Hokkaidos in black chrome, and they look fucking awesome, so I'm super hyped on those. So I just wanted to apologize for not uploading for a really long time. I just wasn't really having fun doing vlogs. I mean, I wasn't having fun doing YouTube. I felt like I was pressuring myself into something I really didn't want to do. But now I kind of want to just give you guys some good information about this, because I feel like there's honestly not a lot of videos on how you can achieve like a ton of camber on these cars. I know the Low Life, he made a lot of Low Life Media. He made a lot of videos on that, on doing his car. So he was a huge help even to me. And then I've got some other advice that, like, you know, he might not have covered because he might not have done or something like that. So I'm going to do my best to explain it the best I can, because he kind of showed what he was doing. I'm going to make this video more about explaining it. So the first thing that I need to explain is there's like two different types of camber, kind of. There is like camber from lower control arms, and then there's camber from slotting or upper control arms. So the difference is, like, basically with my wheels, without any adjustment, they would, my car's like tilted right now, but they would sit out actually like this, about like an inch and a half. And then I actually brought the wheels in to match to be where I want them. So that you do with upper control arms. So think about it like upper control arms will pull the wheel in from the top, and then lower control arms would push the wheel out. So the reason you use upper control arms is it's better for your axles. I don't know how to explain it, but it is. So it's also way easier to adjust than lower control arms. Lower control arms are low-key like a bitch. But so my lower control arms are a little bit adjusted. So I have Racer X rear upper control arms and SPL lowers. So my lowers are at like 4 or 5 degrees, and then my uppers are at like 10. So if I were to max them out, I could easily get like 20 degrees, but I don't want that look. At least it would just be really hard to match the fronts on like a bag setup. So now you guys kind of understand uppers and lowers. So like, say your wheel sat flush, like with the body. If you wanted to camber and you didn't want to tuck, or if you didn't want like a big gap, you would get lowers. But honestly, it's probably even better to just run like a hub-centric spacer. And never run a lug-centric spacer. I'm pretty sure those are the ones that are really bad. Hub-centrics are a lot safer. They basically like replace the wheel hub, rather than lug-centric, which can snap off and fall off. Those are really bad. And that's why people say don't run spacers for the most part. But obviously, if you can avoid using a spacer, avoid it. So I do not have spacers on any of my wheels. It's just not something I wanted to run. I don't want to worry about another thing, you know? So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing with the front, kind of explain the back. Obviously control arms aren't gonna be the only thing you want. You need like tow rods, tie rods, whatever. So in the front, let me just get my flashlight. So with the fronts, I'm gonna explain, like, so I don't have my hood popped. I will pop it actually and show you guys in a little. But there's camber plates. It's like this. It's this thing. So as you can see, there's a little slot that like the bag can actually move back and forth on. So that'll give you a little bit of camber. I know you can get like Omni camber plates and out of system. Those are like 7 to 8 degrees, which is a lot. But the biggest problem with that on a bag setup is actually this wall back here. You will end up rubbing. So right now I have a little bit of clearance, but if I were to get like those camber plates, I wouldn't have clearance. I would have to bang it more with a hammer. So there's a lot of hammering things when you're trying to get like your car to sit low. Another thing with FRS is this frame right here. I've clearly hammered the shit out of it. So the best way to do that, people will take like a 5-pound, I've taken like a 5-pound mallet or whatever that is, and this heat gun, and I will let the heat gun get to like 600 degrees. It's like max. And then I will heat the absolute hell out of one area and then just hammer that area. So it worked a good bit. I still have a lot more to go, I think. And then my fenders cut temporarily. This is horrible. Do not ever cut your fenders like this. I'm gonna actually trim it down so it's way smoother. But yeah, that's not a good idea. Just get like a Dremel and like actually cut it right. And then with the slot, so this is called slotting. This is what a lot of people, actually almost like everyone, does to get good fitment in the front. Or to get camber in the front. So what you can do is you can slot this top strut hole right here where the bolt goes. So basically what you'll do, I wish I had a tripod right now so I could actually show you guys better. But so the bolt goes in here, obviously. You know, if you're looking at your suspension right now, you know there's a bolt here and this one. So this one I just loosen the bottom one so that way you can like pull this thing. So you can push and pull the rotor. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna take a drill bit. You should get something more high power than this and a bigger drill bit. I don't know what size this is. But you'll want to get one as close to the size of the bolt as you can, because you're actually going to take the drill and you're going to stick it in where the bolt will go. Let me see if I could kind of get it stuck in there. Okay, so because I don't have a tripod, I'm not really holding this at all. So what you would do is you would stick it in like this, right? And you will actually, like, while you're turning it, so you'll want it to turn towards the inside of the car. So right now you want it to spin clockwise. So you would have it spin while you actually push the rotor in. So it'll actually like kind of sandwich this, and it'll end up drilling a perfect hole back. Because a lot of people will strut or slot their struts with like a Dremel, and they'll actually cut just like a line back. And the problem with that is that it's not going to arch with the rotor, because when you actually push this back, like it, as you can see from how it's drawn, or it's like gone, that it doesn't go perfectly back. So that's the issue with using a Dremel, is it's never going to be 100% accurate, which can cause more slippage like while you're driving, which is obviously not safe. So I'm basically just going to get back to drilling this. So I didn't really show this because I was figuring it out. I mean, like the whole time before I actually revealed my setup, I got a lot of help from friends. So, you know, huge shout out to like FRS, Patty, Zeno, BRZ. Oh God, a lot of other people. Like, you know who you are. Low FRS helped me. So many people helping me figure all this stuff out. So a huge shout out to all the homies. I'm gonna start drilling this a little bit more. I'll leave a little bit more to go, and then it's maxed out, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna need to shave the knuckle. Hopefully not. I think it's just gonna be the frame is gonna be the biggest issue. So I'll show you guys like what I need to do after I finish slotting this. All right, so I think the slotting's done. I'm gonna show you guys. So there's all the shavings down there. So it's pretty, I have it like tightened down. So all we have to do is put the wheel on. I'm actually gonna do some more banging up here just to see if I can knock this up just a little bit, this little weld right there. Hopefully I can get like a little bit more clearance. So I'm gonna go do some hammering, and then I'll show you guys when I jack the wheel up and show you guys what it looks like. All right, so I jacked it up. The wheel's kind of turns, but it's still gonna be the same thing. If not, it's gonna be tighter fitment. So you guys can see it's pretty tight. This would be with the fender settled. So this is about like my pinky. Before it was like my thumb. It was actually more than my thumb. So it went from being like this big of a gap to this big. It might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot. So I can't take this fender off without taking off the whole kit, and I don't want to take the whole kit off. So I just kind of pulled it back, and if I pull it back like that, I can see under, and I see it's laying frame about right here. So where that like pinch kind of was that I was showing you guys, that was harder to hammer. That's actually not in the way right now. I have like a couple more. I have probably like this much more that I could bang with before that actually becomes a problem. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna jack that up, see if it's good. Honestly, that side's really good for now. I haven't touched this side at all. This side still has like a thumb gap, so we're gonna do that, and then I also have to be. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that side's sitting now. It definitely needs to be slightly lower. I think I need more camber, if anything, but I don't have the right tool to shave that knuckle, so we'll have to wait a little bit. Then I'll do that, and we'll get it perfect. But it's honestly pretty good. I'm really happy with it. And then we're gonna try to do some of this side. But yeah, you guys kind of get a really good idea of how you actually achieve camber now in the front. So I drilled that hole all the way back, gave me about another degree, I'd say, of camber. But yeah, another thing, I totally forgot to say, always wear goggles if you're like cutting metal or anything, which I'm using the drill. So I always wear goggles when I do that. You don't want a metal shaving getting in your eye. That would be horrible. So make sure you're always wearing the proper equipment and that you're being safe and not being a dumbass, because mistakes can be pretty bad when you're working with power tools. I'm probably gonna hammer it a little bit more, jack it back up, and then I'll show you guys what's up with that. All right, so I jacked up the wheel. I kind of banged the frame a little bit. So there's like that pinch weld in the frame I showed you guys earlier. So that's a little bit of an issue. I think we closed this gap, but as you can see, this is pretty tight. So I gotta figure out a way to like shave that pinch weld. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to like re-weld it or anything like that, so I'm definitely not gonna do that right now. But when I go and actually properly cut the fenders, then I'm just gonna do that. So this side is kind of boof, but yeah, the wheel isn't straight on this side, so I'm gonna lower the car and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. But for now, I think it looks pretty good. I'm just kind of scared about the lips, so I gotta watch that when I air it out. But yeah, we gotta make sure to put pressure in the bags before I drop the car. and to put the 2x4 underneath the wheel, or I will end up crushing my side skirt. This side looks a lot better. Definitely got some more camber. Kind of matches the back. It's still a couple degrees off, so I might end up needing like front lowers or something. We'll see, just to square out the camber. But yeah, that's enough blabbering. I'm gonna drop the car and I'll show you guys what it looks like after. Those of you that don't know, airlift has an app. It won't focus, but I can use this to air out. So I'll show you guys the front. So currently I can't air all the way out because this side doesn't have enough camber and it rubs on the tire. So that's a problem. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. This side's just needs more camber. The other side's pretty good. I think it actually might need a little more. It's definitely way lower, as you guys can see. So it could actually go a little bit lower, just like a tad bit. But like I said, can't really air all the way out. Okay, so the fitment actually isn't that bad, especially for this side. I think once I get the other side, it's actually not gonna look that bad at all. Compared to how it used to look, this is definitely super tight. This is like my pinky. So, you know, it could get a little bit lower. Maybe I just need some more camber. That might honestly close it. So there's like that little pinch weld up here that kind of stops us from getting any lower. But as you can see, the splitter is literally on the ground. That also could be another reason. Could be a little lower. So I do need to take that splitter off and at least get it shaved down or just entirely get rid of it, which kind of sucks because I really like the splitter, but it's whatever. And then this side, as you can see, it's not as low. There's not as much camber, or it would be down to here. So basically on the other side, I kind of lowered the car about this much. Took a lot of work to get it like that, but now I think it looks a lot better because compared to the rears, these just aren't up to par. You know, this is the rear. If I could get it to focus, it's super tight. So obviously the front's not like that, which sucks, but both of the rear sides are, which is dope. They both tuck. This one needs to just go up a little bit more, be exactly like the other side. And then, you know, the fronts are pretty good now. Car sits on the ground, which is awesome. I'm really happy about that. So yeah, kind of step back, show you guys how the car looks. So this is how the car looks. Super aggressive. That looks so fucking cool. Yeah, the front actually doesn't look, this driver's side doesn't look nearly as bad as the passenger side with the like camber not being even, but I definitely feel like I do need a good bit more camber, and I might need those front lower control arms just to get it to match, which sucks because front lower control arms are expensive. But yeah, I hope that I taught you guys something at least about cambering these cars. I just feel like it's something that if you're gonna do it, you got to do it safely, or it's just not safe. And I don't think there's enough information out on there. So I hope I helped a couple of you guys. So if you guys have any questions on any of this, hit me up. I can do my best to answer them, but by no means am I a professional or really know what I'm doing. This is my first car I've ever cambered or whatever. So I think I did a pretty good job, you know. Definitely not done yet. Always something to work on with the fitment. Definitely got to get rid of that front lip and see how low the car sits. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see any future content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.